An update on Bissouma's injury. Club to make a blockbuster move for Harry Kane in what would be a statement of intent by the Lewis family. Semenyo and Kudus would make a deadly duo for Spurs as more rumours circulate of Spurs' interest in the Bournemouth winger. And some fixture changes for December. Here are your daily Tottenham news headlines. Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name's Craig and here are your daily Tottenham news headlines where I'll be going through all the latest news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube and are not already as yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Like, share and comment below, and if you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Okay, let's get into it. Football.London has been told by sources close to the Mali national team camp that Bissouma is expected to miss around 2 to 3 weeks of action with the injury if all goes to plan. Spurs medical staff are expected to survey the injury themselves when Bissouma returns to London, but the ex-Brighton maestro is understood to have suffered an ankle contusion, significant bruising. The 29-year-old, who came close to joining Fenerbahce in the summer transfer window, was dropped from Thomas Frank's squad for the UEFA Super Cup defeat to PSG in August due to disciplinary issues. Bissouma has since received several public messages of support online from his international colleagues since suffering his injury. He has also issued a statement in which he outlined his ambition to recover as soon as possible. Zero regrets, Bissouma wrote on Instagram. I once again thoroughly enjoyed representing my country, and if I had to do it all over again, I would do it for the love of my country. I fell, but I will know how to get back up. Every challenge is a lesson, every fall a reminder of my faith and my strength. This is not the end, just the beginning of a new chapter. Stronger, more determined. See you soon. Team Talk report that Tottenham Hotspur are gearing up for a blockbuster move to bring Harry Kane back to North London next summer, aiming to reunite with their former star striker, Team Talk can reveal. The 32-year-old England captain, currently at Bayern Munich, is eager to return to the Premier League to chase Alan Shearer's all-time scoring record of 260 goals. Kane, with 213 Premier League goals, believes he can surpass the milestone with a few productive seasons at Tottenham. Sources close to the club indicate that Tottenham's owners, ENIC, are prepared to break the bank to secure Kane's signature, covering his hefty release clause and matching his substantial wages. The move is seen as a statement of intent from the Lewis family, who are keen to deliver a marquee signing to boost Spurs' ambitions under Thomas Frank. The Danish manager has revitalised the squad, and Kane's return could propel Tottenham into serious contention for silverware. Team Talk's Dean Jones revealed on September 23rd that Kane is open to rejoining Spurs, though he wants them to be playing in the Champions League. Sources have told TBR Football's chief correspondent Graham Bailey that Tottenham Hotspur remain hugely keen on Antoine Semenyo. However, following the North London club's recent recruitment summit, a move for him in January is not on the cards given Bournemouth's firm stance. Thomas Frank really wanted Semenyo over the summer, but the Cherries ended up pricing Spurs out of a move for the forward. Speaking about the winger's situation at Bournemouth, Bailey told TBR Football, "We don't know too many details on Semenyo, but it has not been confirmed he does have a release clause. They were inevitable to come out given so many clubs have been asking about him. Bournemouth insist that they will not be selling in January, which of course they can in theory, but we have to presume they will stick to that. They value the player at well over £70 million anyway, and that will be tough in the January market. Tottenham are surely dreaming of pairing Mohamed Kudus with his fellow countryman next summer in what could be a lethal duo on the wings. The Ghanaian duo recently fired the Black Stars to World Cup qualification as they topped Group I in the CAF qualifying. Kudus netted the only goal of the game in the 1-0 win over Comoros to fire Ghana into the draw for next summer's World Cup in North America. The Premier League has announced changes to 3 of our fixtures scheduled for December. only concerning match rounds 14 to 17, with amendments for fixtures in late December still to be determined. The first change sees our trip to Newcastle United move to Tuesday the 2nd of December. This game will now kick off at 8:15 p.m. and will be broadcast in the UK live on Sky Sports. Our trip to Nottingham Forest, originally scheduled for Saturday the 13th of December, has also moved. This game at the City Ground will now be played on Sunday the 14th of December with a kick-off at 2 p.m. This fixture will also be broadcast in the UK on Sky Sports. And finally, our home clash with Liverpool has changed kick-off time. Scheduled to be played on Saturday the 20th of December, the game will now kick off at 5:30 p.m. and will also be broadcast live on Sky Sports in the UK.
Well, here's my thoughts on all those stories today. Firstly, Bissouma's injury. It would seem it's not as bad as first thought, which is good news for the player and Spurs, I suppose. But I still maintain that Bissouma should never have been allowed to go on international duty, to be honest. I mean, I guess a club can't stop. Can a club stop a player going on international duty? I genuinely don't know, but I would have preferred he didn't. But it sounds like it's not just a freak injury, not related to his previous injury, which was a knee. Obviously this is an ankle, so if it's just bruising and it's 2 or 3 weeks, that's certainly good news for the player and Spurs. So hopefully, whether he's going to get back in contention for Thomas Frank, I don't know. Seems like Thomas Frank doesn't really rate the player, doesn't obviously, well, he's got issues with his disciplinary, missed the Super Cup, of course, so. And we've had these issues with Bissouma, not under just under Thomas Frank. It's been under Ange Postecoglou as well. He's obviously got that in him, that little bit of rebellious streak, perhaps. I don't know, but Thomas Frank's not going to stand for any of it, but has left the door open for Bissouma. And without a doubt, if we get the Bissouma that played for Brighton, he was a fantastic player. But obviously his contract runs out next summer, so I fully expect Bissouma to move on in January. The Harry Kane rumours, this is always going to interest me, as I'm sure it will a lot of you. Look, a lot of people will think this is just rubbish. Harry Kane's come out and said he's happy at Bayern, blah, blah, blah. I get all that, but money does talk. And if an offer was, because at the moment, right, an offer for Harry Kane has not been put in front of Harry Kane. It's all just press speculation and talk. I just wonder if an offer did come in, a firm offer, a good offer from Tottenham, and I mean a good offer, I wonder if Harry Kane would have his head turned a little bit. I do, and I'm not talking about January. It would be next summer that Kane would come back to Spurs, but I just wonder whether he would seriously consider that and look at that. And I hope Harry Kane goes on to win everything with Bayern this season. Champions, well, not the Champions League because we're in it, aren't we? So I hope Spurs win it, obviously, but if we don't, I just want to see Harry Kane lift that Champions League, and he's kind of done then, so it'd give him even more reason to come back to Spurs. But I think there's still truth in this. Spurs could well go in January and match that release fee for Harry Kane, and then essentially it probably would be up to Harry Kane, I'm guessing, unless Bayern could perhaps offer him a new contract. But if Spurs mean business, what a statement signing that would be. Now, I know a lot of people are watching this saying, no, there's no way, A, we're going to go back in for Harry Kane, B, that he even wants to come back to Tottenham. And some of you, C, might even think that we should be looking somewhere else. And Kane is sort of old news, but I would honestly say he seems to be not slowing down. He's at the peak of his powers. Fantastic player. And I know a lot of people get fed up with hearing people like me talking about Harry Kane, but we're always going to talk about Harry Kane, especially when there's consistent rumours in the press about him coming back to Tottenham. And obviously the rumours are still out there. This one was only from today, so these are going to rattle on, absolutely. And what a statement of intent that would be from the Lewis family if they did do this in January. What a statement. But let's see. Antoine Semenyo rumours again. What a player this lad is. I've said many times, this is a player we should be going for Spurs, and having him and Kudos on either wing, Christ. And with Harry Kane coming back in the middle, can you imagine that front three? Now look, I was excited when we had Bale Sonny and Kane up front, but that was under the wrong manager for me. I mean, it obviously worked. They scored loads of goals, but imagine that partnership under the right manager. It never quite worked under Mourinho. Mourinho never really fancied Gareth Bale, let's be honest, even though Bale scored 17 goals when he came back and didn't really play tons of football, did he? But imagine a front three of Semenyo, Kane and Kudus. What a front three. So again, statement signing, go out and make, if Semenyo's your number one target, go and get him, put that offer in. I don't think Bournemouth are going to sell in January, to be honest with you. Why would they? But get a deal in place and get that deal done. Like I say, imagine signing Semenyo and Kane. What a duo signing that would be, and that really is a statement by Spurs. And finally, these fixture changes. Newcastle away Tuesday, the 2nd of December, 8:15 at night. Obviously, you're going to get midweek games. You are, but wow, this for supporters that's a tough journey. The longest journey in the Premier League for Spurs, going up to Newcastle on a Tuesday evening, 8:15 kickoff. Yeah, people will argue that the Premier League do not think about the fans, and this is probably another one of those times. And the same can be said for Liverpool, 5:30, even though that's a Saturday. Again, but look, you're going to get these games. Doesn't matter for us because this is a home game for Tottenham. But yeah, again, a tough trip for the Liverpool fans. 5:30 on a Saturday.
Thanks for watching and thanks for listening, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. Get down in the comments, let me know your thoughts on all those stories today. And as always, come on you Spurs.